On this day 100 years ago, April 21st, 1926, the future Queen Elizabeth II was born. You know, we lost the Queen in 2022, and I was 18 at that point, so I lived 18 years of my life knowing who the Queen was. But she reigned 70 years, of course, and she was in the public eye for much longer, since she was born. I collect all sorts of things, and today I want to share some of my favorite things that I have in memory of Queen Elizabeth II. The first is this Funko Pop. It's the Queen in her pink outfit with a little corgi. I also have a green Queen Elizabeth outfit pop. The next will be a couple books. This was a book about her coronation in 1952. The next is a magazine for her Ruby Jubilee in 1992, which was actually not really remembered or celebrated much, but I do have this magazine. The next is a book about the Queen of Canada, A Crown of Maples. This was from 2010, a couple years ahead of the Diamond Jubilee, and it has a lot of cool information about the Queen and her visits to Canada and her role as Canada's Queen. The final book is her Platinum Jubilee, a book from her Platinum Jubilee in 2022 that she celebrated shortly before she passed away. Finally, I want to show a couple photos. This was from her father, King George VI's coronation on May 12, 1937. Here's a picture of Queen Elizabeth II signing Canada's Constitution, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in 1982, with Pierre Trudeau by her side. Here's the picture of the Queen riding horses with former President Ronald Reagan. Here's the Queen and former Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney toasting to each other. And finally, here's a photo of the Queen with Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. I like this one. So today we remember the Queen's legacy. We remember her 100 years on from her birth, and we will remember this Queen as one of the most well-known and greatest queens in British history.